New livestock and meat trade data has been released in the past few days, and joining us now to help sort it all out is Derrell Peel, our livestock marketing specialist. And Derrell, in looking at those numbers, let's start with what the export picture is looking like.
Well, beef exports are down so far this year. That's to be expected. It's part of the general market conditions. We have record high prices and limited supplies right now. Exports were almost unchanged last year. They're down about 10% for the year to date. March numbers specifically were down about 6 to 7%, which is, all things considered, I believe, holding up pretty well. The Asian markets, Japan is actually up slightly, about 1% for the year to date. South Korea is just down slightly. But in other markets like Mexico, we're seeing a much sharper decrease. Hong Kong is also down significantly this year.
And then in terms of imports, what are you observing?
Well, again, as expected, with record high prices and limited supplies, we're attracting more product from the global market. So imports are up. They were up last year. They'll be up even more this year. So far this year, we're up about 47% year to date. March numbers were up about 33%. Much of that increase is coming from Australia. Australia is in the position right now of liquidating cattle because of drought, so they've got increased supplies, at least in the short run, and so we're getting a lot of that meat in the U.S. right now. Those will probably moderate as we go through the year a little bit. New Zealand is up, Mexico is up, so most of our major import markets are sending more beef to the U.S. right now in response to the high prices here.
Are you seeing a similar trend with the live cattle trade picture?
We are, last year we imported more cattle from Mexico and Canada. We are up so far this year as well. Imports of cattle from Mexico are all feeder cattle. The thing that's changed from last year to this year in both the Mexican and Canadian cattle import situation is that we're getting less females from both of those countries this year. The heifers are down, so it probably is an indication that we're seeing some herd expansion beginning in both Mexico and Canada.
And then in terms of beef demand, I know this time of year we like to grill out, and as we head into summer, is that impacting beef demand overall?
Beef demand appears to be very strong, and this despite concerns we've had, particularly in 2015 with increased supplies of pork and poultry. Exports are down for both of those meats, so we're consuming more of that increased production in the U.S. And yet, despite that, beef prices are high. The calculated beef demand index for the first quarter of this year was up sharply. And so it says that, with limited supplies of beef, demand remains very strong for that available supply, despite the fact that there's lots of pork and poultry out there as well.
Okay. We head into grilling season. Of course, we love this time of year. Derrell, thanks a lot. We'll see you again soon.